What's going on, y'all? I'm about to have a meal, so I'm outside in the backyard. Wanted to show you guys what I'm about to eat. Been outside since this morning, trying to get some good light. It was a bit foggy out earlier today, but I was still outside getting light through the clouds. But now the sky's cleared up quite a bit, and it's mid-afternoon, so the sun's at its peak that'll be for the day. So I'm out here trying to get as much UV light, as much infrared, red light, near infrared, just the full spectrum of sunlight, trying to soak up as much as I can. But like I said, I'm taking a little break in the shade right now. Gonna have a meal and wanted to show you guys what I'm eating. So typically I'll show you the raw grass-fed ground beef, but today I'm doing something a little different. I'm gonna have this raw chuck steak. So sometimes I'll do whole cuts of meat like this instead of the ground, and that's what I'm doing today. The chuck's got a lot of fat in it, as you can see still, so I'm getting a lot of protein, a lot of good saturated animal fat. There's a lot of metabolic water in it still since I'm eating it raw. All the vitamins and minerals, and it's gonna keep me from being hungry, fuel me for the whole day, give me the proper nutrition that I need. It has everything in it that I need. I don't need to eat anything else besides meat, and eating it raw is the best, as I always say. And as far as anything we're eating goes, if you can't eat it raw, you shouldn't eat it at all. You can eat meat cooked if you choose to do so, but eating it raw is going to give you a higher nutritional profile, and it's the best way to eat it in my opinion. So I'm going to go ahead and keep hanging out here, keep getting all these proper light signals while I eat this meal. This is the way that we've evolved to eat. We're supposed to eat this way. If anyone tells you you shouldn't eat meat raw, question why. Why shouldn't you eat it raw? It's the healthiest food we can eat. As I've said before, two of the most important things we can do for our health is eat optimal nutrition, which I have here, and embrace our environment, our light environment specifically, so getting outside in the sun. It's another thing that people might tell you can be dangerous. They might tell you not to eat raw meat. They might tell you not to eat meat in general. People might say meat is not a health food. That's wrong. The truth is meat is the healthiest thing we can eat. And another one of the healthiest things we can do is get outside in the sunshine. We're made to be in the sun. The sun provides everything on the planet with life. Everything needs the sun in order to survive. It does so many good things for our biology. We can't live without it. Eat meat, get sunshine, and you will be healthy. There are other things to achieving health too, but if those are two things that you start doing daily, you will get healthy. Still outside finishing this meal up, but I wanted to talk a little bit more about the truth of nutrition and the truth of light signals and the truth about the sun. Meat is the only food that we can eat as humans that gives us the complete nutrition that we need to survive. Some folks might say that eating meat every day is unhealthy, and some might say that eating meat raw is unhealthy. But if we think about it critically and think about it logically, how would the one food that there is on the planet that gives us everything we need from one single ingredient be unhealthy for us? And if the raw form of that food, without cooking it, contains a higher nutritional profile than the same food cooked, why would we not want to eat it raw? People might say that if you're eating only meat, you're lacking certain vitamins, so you need to eat your fruits and vegetables. There's not a single vitamin or mineral or anything you can get from fruits and vegetables that meat does not provide. But the same cannot be said reverse. There are things that meat provides us that fruits and vegetables cannot. Meat is the complete package. It's the only thing that has everything we need. Some people might say, oh, well, you need fiber. You're not getting fiber if you're eating meat. All it takes is a little experimentation. I've been eating nothing but meat for over a year and nothing but raw meat for almost a full year now. And my digestion's perfect. I eat no fiber. If anything, it helps me. If you have fiber in your diet, things are coming out of you the same way they went in, so you're not digesting them. So that means how could you possibly be getting any nutritional value out of something you're not digesting? We digest everything that's in the meat. There's no fiber, so our body uses everything that we're giving it by eating it. Meat has protein, meat has fat, which is extremely important. And when we eat it raw, the fats don't oxidize like they would when you cook it, so you get the full omega-3 profile. You're not losing any of the fat to rendering when you cook it, so you get all the fat in the meat still. All the water-soluble vitamins are still in it because the raw meat has all of the metabolic water still within it, so every water-soluble vitamin is in here in full. The same goes for the fat-soluble vitamins. The whole fat content is in here. The fat is raw, so it still holds the full vitamin. You don't lose anything when you eat it raw. It's exactly the way it's intended to be and gives your body the optimal nutrition. As far as people who might say there's dangers to eating it raw, as humans we've evolved to have very high stomach acidity. We've evolved to be able to eat raw. Our stomach acid can destroy any type of bacteria that could even potentially be harmful to us. And there's also good beneficial bacteria in raw meat that we need. Our bodies are full of bacteria. Just because something's bacteria does not mean it's bad. And if there was a harmful bacteria, our immune system would be able to take care of it, and our stomach would be able to kill it with the high stomach acidity. As I said, if you're healthy, you have the proper stomach acidity, and you're able to eat raw meat. And if you think about it from an ancestral standpoint, what would our ancestors have had access to year round, all the time? Raw meat. Hunting was always a reliable way of getting food. There wouldn't always be fruits or vegetables, those are seasonal things. And depending on where you live in the world, sometimes there would never be fruits and vegetables. If you live at a high latitude, all you would have access to year-round is meat. So if you think critically and use logic, it's quite obvious and makes the most sense that eating raw meat would be the most natural thing we could do. And when it comes to sun exposure, we can use the same critical thought and the same logic. If you think about it and question what you've been told, you'll come to the same conclusions. The sun isn't dangerous. People might say if you spend too much time in the sun or just get an adequate amount of sun for what we should be getting, that you'll develop skin cancer. This isn't the truth. There have been studies that show people who develop skin cancer tend to be vitamin D deficient. The way our bodies create vitamin D is by getting exposed to UVB light. The way we get UVB light is from the sun. So if you're developing skin cancer and have low vitamin D, that means you're deficient in sunlight. And this is found across the board with a lot of chronic illnesses. People who have them tend to be vitamin D deficient. So think about it. If we're getting a lot of sun and creating a lot of vitamin D, that's preventative of disease. The sun is designed to keep us healthy. Getting sun will prevent disease. It's not going to give you disease. Besides vitamin D, the sun creates melanin in our skin. As we get more tan and expose our skin to the sun, the tan is our body creating melanin. The darker you are, the more melanin you have in your skin. So as you tan and get darker, that means you have more melanin in your skin. And everything in our body contains melanin. For example, our brains contain neuromelanin in it. Inside of our brain, yes, we in fact have melanin, and it's called neuromelanin. And we need that, or else we suffer from neurodegenerative disease. So Alzheimer's, for example, it's a very common disease in this modern age. It's from a lack of sun. People don't have melanin in their body in the places where they need it. And the way we get melanin to places we need it, like our brain, for example, is to be out in the sun. We create melanin on our skin. And then when the sun goes down and it's dark outside, when we're not exposed to artificial lights and we embrace darkness, the melanin that we've created from the light on our outside migrates into our interior and melanizes the inside of our body, melanizes our brain, and everything else inside of our body that requires melanin. So if you don't have enough melanin, you're going to suffer from chronic diseases. You'll have organ troubles, you'll have gut issues, you'll have neurodegenerative disease. So many things result from a lack of melanin. And how do we get melanin? Again, by getting outside in the sun. So it stands to reason, if you think about it, these two things, vitamin D and melanin, there are many more benefits to sun, but those are two prime examples of why we need the sun. And we can't create those things when we're not being exposed to the sun. So if you're living an indoor life, you're not getting the light signals that are enabling your body to create vitamin D and melanin. And that means, unfortunately, the truth is disease will be on your horizon if you're not getting these proper light signals to prevent getting disease in the future. And also, when you're outside getting the sun, it's dangerous to wear sunscreen. Yes, I stated that how I meant to. It's not dangerous not to wear sunscreen. Wearing the sunscreen, in fact, is the dangerous part. Because when you wear sunscreen, you're blocking UV exposure from the sun. We require UV exposure from the sun. As I have just previously stated, we need the UV light to make vitamin D, and we need the UV light to create melanin. And if you're blocking UV with sunscreen, you're going to be out in the sun, but you're not going to be getting the benefits. You're blocking the frequencies of light that you need. So it's mind-blowing to me how everything that's contrary to what mainstream and centralized medicine seems to say is the truth. The sun is actually extremely healthy for us. We need it to survive and have our optimal health. And we have the nutrition story wrong as well. Raw meat is the healthiest thing we can eat and has the highest nutritional profile of all foods we can get. So I wanted to talk about these things so it can put you guys on to start questioning why these things that are actually healthy for us are being told that they're unhealthy. We're being told to do the wrong things for our health. People are starting to wake up, and I hope me talking about this and showing the things that I do start to help wake some of you up as well. Start using your critical thinking. The more you start doing these things, getting sunlight and eating proper nutrition, the healthier you will get. And I believe the more clearly you can think when you're healthy. So these things start to make more and more sense as you start to do them more and more. I think as we get healthier, our intuition gets better as well. I listen to my intuition as much as I can, and from the information I've gathered and the way these habits make me feel and the gut feelings and intuitive feelings I get, they tell me that getting sun and eating raw meat is the healthiest thing I can do for myself. I hope you guys try these things out, and I know they will make you feel good. Question things, think critically about the things you're told about your health. And I believe if you do think critically, use your logic, and gain better health along the way, things will become more apparent and you will realize what the truth is. And you'll feel it. If you do these things, you'll feel your best. And if you're feeling your best, that probably means you're on the right track.